Hello and welcome back to Injury Recovery Mindset, Return to Perform. I'm Dr. Craig Cypher, sports psychologist for the U of R Medicine Fitness Science program. So just to quickly recap where we've been so far, we've learned that anxiety, tension, and doubt are all a normal part of our return to performance, especially when we're dealing with an injury. Learned about our amygdala response, the alarm bell system that gets in the way of our ability to get back into our game. Learn about green and red zones of energy management and the mindset skills needed to manage that energy in positive ways, including breathing and progressive muscle relaxation. We also learned about the ABCs of self-talk, how we can kind of keep a neutral mindset to help us moving forward. And last time we talked about imagery, specifically imagery for calm and relaxation in a way to kind of help settle down that stress and anxiety in a really positive way. So now let's talk about imagery for success. How do we utilize our imagery skills to be able to prepare us for the challenges of returning to competition? And again, imagery is an incredibly powerful mindset skill that's going to be able to use the power of our mind to get us ready for those moments that might be challenging, might be difficult, and helping us to be at our best. So a couple of quotes that I like to utilize from Lindsey Vonn, who's a Team USA alpine ski racer, multiple-time world champion. She says that she always visualizes the run before she does it. By the time I get to the start gate, I've run that race 100 times in my head. And also, once I visualize a course, I never forget. So I get on those lines and go through exactly the run that I want to have. So Lindsey takes her visual memory of what it feels like, what it looks like to run those races in a way that's helped her. And especially somebody who has documented her experiences with injury and the difficulties with coming back, imagery and visuals have become a really important part of helping her to return from really challenging injuries. Once again, imagery is powerful. We need to remember that imagery, in research in imagery has shown us that imagery helps us to improve concentration, enhance motivation, build confidence, control emotional responses, helps us to acquire, practice, and correct sport-related skills. Being able to come up with the imagery in our mind of individual skills can help us to actually get better when we utilize those in training or competition. Help us to acquire and practice strategy. Being able to not only do film and video review of what's the strategic aspects of our sport, but able to address that in our mind can be helpful. Also, it helps to prepare for competition, cope with pain and injury, respond to adversity, and solve problems as they arise within our sport. And so the three key pieces in terms of coming back after an injury that we want to think about with imagery in this sense, this imagery for success, we want to be able to build that confidence, prepare you for competition, and help you to respond to adverse situations. So when it comes to imagery for success, there's four key components that we want you to focus on today. One is the sensory part. How do we incorporate all of our senses in a way that's helpful? And notice that I use the term imagery, not visualization, because we're going to incorporate so many more senses than just our sense of sight, just our visual part, in a way that's going to be helpful. We're going to talk about perspective and what that means, our ability to control the image, and then also what our points of focus need to be in a way that's going to be helpful going forward. So as we spoke about with calm and relaxation imagery, our goal with utilizing our senses is to make it as real as possible. Utilizing our sight, sound, our sense of touch, but also our sense of feel beyond just touch. The kinesthetics of movement, being able to kind of picture how that feels, and also the emotional aspects of how we're feeling. And certainly our sense of smell. And so if we can incorporate all of these pieces in terms of creating an image in our mind of returning back to the field and what that's going to be, returning back to competition, thinking about what are we going to see, what will we hear, what will be the sense of touch, what will it feel like, what are the emotions we might be going through, and also even the smells that we might feel, we might go through in this respect. Another key component of this is our perspective. And sometimes I refer to this as GoPro or video, or more scientifically, an internal or external focus. So thinking about, are we going to see this image as if we have a GoPro video camera attached to us and that first person's perspective where we're just going to see it in front of us? Or is it more like taking a step back and seeing it from a wide angle view? So that internal or first person or GoPro view is going to be, what does it look like as if I'm doing it? I'm in the competition. I'm in the moment. What does it look like, feel like, seem like for me in that moment? Or for some athletes or performers in other sports, they're very used to utilizing video to break down, their performance on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis. And so if you're really familiar with video that shows you on the field, on the court, trying to execute, then that can be really helpful to view that in your mind, that external third-person perspective, as if a video camera from a distance is recording where you are. And what does the research say? Either way, it's just about personal preference. It can be very successful as an external third-person video, or very successful from that first-person GoPro internal point of view. It's really about, what do you feel most comfortable with and what works for you. So experimenting with both can be very helpful. The next part of this is control. We really want to be able to prepare you for successful moments and outcomes within your sport. We want you to think about moments where you score, moments where you're successful, moments where you are triumphant. Those are the moments that we want to have. But also know that we want to prepare for adversity. Being able to have an image in your mind of those moments that may be really challenging. Could be related to fatigue coming back from injury. Could be related to soreness or kind of training pain that you might have as your body gets back used to this level of competition. You might also have times when you drift or get negative in terms of your image and where you're thinking, and being able to kind of control that and manage that. And so the two pieces that we often mention in terms of being able to control that successfully are, sometimes the image in our mind, we want to just slow that down. Be able to see it happen in slow motion can give us really powerful control over the image. So if you get to the point where you see yourself being unsuccessful, or see yourself getting hurt again, or something negative going on, we can help you to get back to it by slowing it down. Seeing that image happen in slow motion can help you to feel like you have a stronger sense of control. Another technique that can really help is actually verbally directing it. Seeing yourself go through each small point and actually saying that either in your head or out loud to yourself. First, I'm in my stance. Then I'm ready to explode. Gun goes off. Great start. Moving us forward. So being able to verbally direct step by step by step can be a very helpful situation to have if you're having any difficulties controlling either the negativity, positivity of that image, or if you're just getting distracted. The next part of it is to think about what you want to focus on within your image. Is it competition or training that you want to focus on? Is it a full competition? For some athletes, their competition for sprinters, for example, may be done within 25 seconds, right? So being able to have the image of a full competition makes sense. For other sports that may be 4 quarters of action going on, they may just want to think about sections of it or key moments, getting out to a really good start, coming back from halftime. Penalty shots, set pieces, really focused moments that might be challenging. So the key things for you to figure out here are, what are the situations that make sense in your sport? And especially, what are the situations that right now, as you return from injury, might make you feel a little bit concerned, a little bit anxious, a little bit uncomfortable? And so those could be anticipating contact and physicality. It could be cutting certain movements that you do. Or it could be worries or concerns about repeated stress on your body. So preparing yourself for those that might not be, might be kind of driving some of the fears, driving some of the alarm bell responses, but being able to see yourself be successful, to persevere through those and be able to manage any of that discomfort as it gets going is going to help you to see that in your mind in a way that's going to translate to competition when that time comes. So right now I want you to take a look at the imagery worksheet that's part of your workbook that we included with this. And I want you to think about each of these small pieces. Sensory, what are the senses that I need to really dial into and utilize? What perspective is going to make sense for me? What's my strategy to control the image as I'm utilizing the imagery? And what's the sense of focus that I need? If I'm going to drift, if I'm going to get negative, how do I focus my image in a way that's going to help me to come back? As we look and think about your golden repair goals moving ahead, we need to continue to build awareness, understanding our emotions and where we're at, continue to practice some of our core level mindset skills in terms of breathing, progressive muscle relaxation. We need to be mindful of our self-talk and continue to practice and utilize our imagery, not only for calm and relaxation, but now for success as well. And just like we talked about last time, there can be both a basic and advanced approach to being able to manage it from here. So we can think about being planful. What are our senses? What are the aspects of perspective, control, and focus that we need to focus on? And just starting with practice 3 to 4 times a week. Continuing that from last time, maybe mixing up a little bit of the calm and relaxation along with our success imagery that we're thinking about from here. And again, if this is something that's a skill that you've already utilized, maybe you're really familiar with visualization and imagery, it's something that you've incorporated as part of what you do, being able to keep an imagery journal can be really helpful. Writing down, when did you do it? Where were you? For how long? What worked? What was challenging? And it can really help you get a sense of, progress over time and what are the individual aspects that help your imagery be successful. Where are you doing it? What time of day? How long are you spending? Being able to understand over time what really works for you. Thanks again. Good luck to you in your journey as you return to performance. And again, if there's any questions, feel free to reach out to me. You are now ready. You have the skills that you need from a mindset perspective to return to play and be successful here. But again, those skills are only going to work if you work it. All of this only works if you work it. So continue to put in the work. Put in as much time in your mindset as you're going to with your nutrition, as you go into with your strength and conditioning, as you're going to with returning to your sport or area performance. Take all those together and move ahead. Once again, Dr. Craig Seifer, sports psychologist, your medicine, fitness, science. Thanks.